room escape games you might have played online, well, they're becoming real in China. These games require players to find clues and escape a room within a time limit. Some of these are pretty hard, with one place reporting only 1 in 5 players actually getting out before the time's up. The settings of these range from murder mysteries to haunted houses, but although some of them might seem life or death, that's just for some additional fun. That's just part of the setting. They're completely safe. These real-life escape games are very popular among high school and college students all across China. The Deep Flight Super Falcon, aside from having a really cool name, is unlike any other submarine. It's about the size of a kayak and can move freely underwater as if it were a fish or an airplane. It was inspired when someone in a regular bottom-crawling submarine noticed his vessel was confined to the bottom. This new submarine doesn't take on and expel water to go up or down. It can just move freely. Some have even called it an underwater airplane. The creator, who also has a cool name, Graham Hawkes, said, "There's nothing that clever about it. We actually build a thing that has wings. We build up speed and it just flies underwater."
A group of toddlers have traded in their rattles for beat-making software. Yes, the first DJ school for toddlers is open for business. DJ and composer Natalie Elizabeth Weiss decided to start this because she says, the difference between listening to Mozart and listening to electronic music is that you can't pick up a cello when you're 3 months old, but you can push play. The class isn't intended to transform kids into the next Tiesto or Avicii. It will, however, school them on how to develop their fine motor skills using beat-mixing equipment.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Please welcome him gladly.
Crush.
The Bride of Frankenstein. Is Frankenstein married?
No.
On a scale of 9 to 10, how much have aliens played in the artwork of the ancient cultures?
Like a 9.7. Yeah.
What is President Obama's last name?
Obama.
Thank you. If John was born on August 1st, and Mike was born on October 3rd, and Lisa was born on January 3rd, how many days end with a Y?
Is this a math question? I teach science.
You can still answer it.
Wait, could you repeat it again?
How many days end with a Y?
How many days? They all end with a Y.
Thank you. If Johnny has 3 apples and Mike has 2 apples, what fruit does Aaron Beeler eat? Bananas.
Fruit of the loom.
I'll go with what he said. Bananas. We were looking for oranges. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Gorilla Wolves Movie News. I'm Parker Lehman. Over the weekend, I saw 2 movies, Prisoners and The Wizard of Oz in IMAX 3D. The Wizard of Oz is perhaps the weirdest kids film to come out since The Oogie Loves and The Big Balloon Adventure. The film is about a girl named Dorothy who is whisked away to a magical musical land full of monkeys, wicked witches, mentally disabled ants, little people who give away free lollipops, and all sorts of anthropomorphic animals and objects. I use the word whisked loosely. What I mean by that is she goes to this magical land by getting hit in the head with a window pane. Hard. I don't know about you, but if I got blindsided by a freaking window and started seeing munchkins and talking lions, I'd probably have serious brain damage. Once Dorothy gets to Oz, she embarks on a perilous journey to go see the ruler of the land, the Wizard of Oz, in order to get back home. On the way, she meets a bunch of freeloaders, including a talking scarecrow, some weird robot thing, and a lion who's a huge... That's too easy. They eventually get to the Kingdom of Oz, and the wizard tells them they have to kill the Wicked Witch of the West in order to get back home. So they go to the Wicked Witch's castle, and they kill her with, bet you can't guess, not a wooden stake, not burning her at the stake, but with a bucket of water. Didn't work for Signs, also doesn't work for this movie. They throw water on her, and she melts like a stick of butter. I don't know either. So they go back to the wizard. He turns out to be just some normal dude instead of a floating Gary Busey head, and he leaves on his balloon thingy. Then the creepy good witch from the beginning comes back and tells Dorothy she could have gone home at any time. All she had to do was click her heels and say, "There's no place like home." No! You're telling me that she wasted days on this journey and probably risked her life like 3 times, and she could have gone home whenever she wanted. The movie ends with her waking up in a feverish stupor and greeting her family. The end. This is the strangest, most pointless movie I've seen in a long time. 2 out of 10. Only go see it if you have nothing better to do. Now, if I was a cold-hearted pig with no childhood, that would have been my review. This movie is a timeless classic that will always be adored by film fans everywhere. Please disregard everything I just said. This film is an indisputable 10 out of 10. See you next time on Gorilla Wolf Movie News.
Who runs to first base and gets carried off on a gurney? Manny Machado of the Baltimore Orioles. On his injury to first base, the Orioles were beating the Rays 4-2, and after his injury, they wound up losing 5-4, and with his injury and the loss, there went the Orioles' narrow playoff hopes. And speaking of playoff hopes, the MLB playoffs are pretty much set with Atlanta, St. Louis, Cincinnati, and LA in the National League, with Boston, Detroit, and Oakland in the American League, with Texas, Cleveland, and Tampa Bay vying for those last 3 spots. Who was more unstoppable than Ron Artest in the Palace at Auburn Hills in Detroit until last Sunday? That would be the Washington Redskins on their own turf against the Detroit Lions. But Detroit finally won a game in Washington. It only took them 22 tries. In a streak dating back to November 26th, 1939. Yeah, wow, it's been a while. So they finally won their first game in Washington. In other news, the Cincinnati Bengals became the first team to blow a 14-point lead and go down by 16 and still win a game. And for my picks of the week, I got the Saints over the Dolphins, but I gotta tip my hats off to Miami. When I saw the Monday Night Football schedule out, I was like, what idiot made us play the Dolphins on Monday Night Football? But last week I was singing Miami Dolphins #1 as they beat the Atlanta Falcons. So the enemy of your enemy is your friend, but still want to beat him. Also, the Saints could go up potentially 3.5 games on Atlanta, and then they can't catch us till week 8 with a win today, assuming that Atlanta lost against New England. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Hi, my name is Alec Gravel, and I'm going to be doing a weekly album review for you. And this week, I have Yes's 4th studio album, Fragile. You see, this album was released in November of 1971 and is considered to be Yes's pet sounds because it was really what broke down the borders and got them international popularity. It starts off with the song probably most known by Yes, Roundabout, which has this really sick intro on classical guitar, and then it transitions into one of the coolest bass lines I've ever heard. And Roundabout is all good and dandy, but the real gem on this album is Heart of the Sunrise, which is about a 20-minute epic song that makes Roundabout look like Cheeseburger in Paradise. So I would really recommend listening to this album. It's got a great prog rock, just awesome sound. Give it no less than a 9 out of 10. Check it out.
Do you believe that Batman is a superhero or just a hero?
Batman is a superhero. Batman. No. Batman.
All right.
Superhero.
Do you believe that there's someone out there in the large world that looks exactly like you or is impersonating you at this moment?
Yes. And he made a movie. And the movie was called Up. Go on, get out of here. Come on, come.
Ah.
Think about it. Think about it. You saw the guy in Up? He's impersonating me, isn't he?
Now, Coach, you've often been known to have not the greatest of memory. How exactly would you rate your memory on a scale of 1 to 10, with 5 being the highest?
I can't remember the question that you just said. Well, let's put it this way. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said I had cancer and Alzheimer's disease. So I was told the doctor, thank God I don't have cancer.
There you have it, ladies.
Long
there you
memory.
go.
Long
he's
memory.
Clearly
Long memory.
He's clearly a 5
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10, with
For
5
memory,
being the
I guess,
highest.
yes.
So, what did you enjoy most about your role as Mermaid Man on the cartoon series SpongeBob SquarePants?
Oh, I was that was me? Yeah. Oh, I was Mermaid.
Memory of 5 coming in.
That's right. I think it was just being in close association with such a fine, fine person as SpongeBob SquarePants.
Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else?
That's it. I'm going home.